Now we're going to be discussing the preset manager tab. Okay, this is where you're going to be creating and storing presets to be able to recall at future times or different shows or anything like that, just for ease of setups. So let's head over to the console. We'll show you how to do that. Okay, on the right side of the desk here, the way I like to get to it, we use the drop-down menu here, and we'll head down to preset manager. We'll go ahead and click that. As you see on the screen, we're presented here with a very similar message like when we created the show file, so that we don't have one created, or this gives us the option to load a pre-existing one. All right, since a lot of you folks out there are using these desks for the first time and you're going to be doing this to make your preset folder, I'm going to show you how to create one. We'll get into recalling and saving in a moment in this video. So we're going to click on new. All right, we're going to go ahead and name this. So for me, let's call this, I have a couple in there already, so we're gonna go, we'll call this LA presets, since we are in LA. And I can put the author, and if I can remember my name, we'll go ahead and throw that in there. So just like that, we click OK. Now we have the file here. All right, so right now there's nothing in here, so we're going to go ahead and jump into creating some presets. One thing I want to point out, I'm going to work on the right side of the console. So as we see here with my area B, I have my vocal C channel, which is vocal center. Okay, the reason why I'm going to work on the right side of the console is because when I actually go to name and store the presets, because I'm using MC1 is active, that's this side of the console, I have the keyboard plugged into the USB port on this side, so that way I'm able to type a name. So if I'm creating presets on the left-hand side of the desk, I would just have to move the keyboard into the other USB port. So just give you a heads up on that, so that way if you try to work on the left-hand side and you're trying to name anything and it doesn't work, you don't have a problem with the console. It's just that computer needs a separate USB keyboard, or you just have to swap it over. So just a tip. So let's go back over here. So for the preset here, right now we have the entire channel overview, okay? The great thing about our preset manager is it allows us to save individual sections. So right now, if I wanted to store a preset of the entire channel overview, that's going to save everything and anything that has to do with that channel. That's going to be your gain. That's going to be your direct outs, your phantom power assignments, your compressor, your gates, the inserts, the EQs, all of the sends, like everything, the left and right, everything that's on that channel, fader position, mute, status, it's all going to be retained. So really, really great way. So if you're loving how your vocal is sounded in this case, and it's like everything part of that input channel is what I want to save and store, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So let's do that. So we would click here on store preset. Now we're presented here with a pop-up. The preset type is whole channel. So when we have a ton of preset files, it's going to say what those preset files are. Is it a whole channel? Is it just an EQ? Is it just the sends? Is it just the gate? Is it just the compressor? Is it an effect? Whatever that you might have, it's going to break it down into different sections for easy navigating and recall. So next below that is the preset name. It just defaults to saying, hey, it's the whole channel. Of course, the preset author is myself, because we created our preset file with me being the author. So for you, it'd be your name there. So for now, we can call this, let's just name it the channel. All right, we'll call it vocal center. We can go ahead and add some notes in there. We could say like the type of microphone, or anything that you might need to, kind of remember, because again, we have a lot of channels on this console that are available to us. Or even if we're just like, say, on a Pro 1 and we only have 40 input channels, it's like these presets can, maybe kind of get overwhelming to you. If you have all different types of presets, the notes can be an easy thing for you to kind of, get an idea of what the preset actually is before actually loading it. So for me, I typically like to go ahead and just put the type of microphone that's on there. So for on this vocal, I have an AE 6100. Not a 61,000. And I'll go ahead and hit OK. So now that we have the whole channel preset saved, let's just go ahead and save the EQ. Like, I love how this EQ works with this vocal microphone with my singer. So let's go ahead and save that, because that might be a great starting point, you know, for like another person, you know, another band, or if I'm always going to be using the same microphone, it's like, okay, let's start with that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our EQ area selected on the screen. So now we just have the EQ here. All right, so again, we can go ahead, click on store the preset. As you see, the preset type is going to be input EQ. It's defaulting naturally to the input EQ name. So we'll go ahead and name this vocal center. Okay, you know, that's for this, or we could just say that this is the EQ for the AE 6100, and we'll say for vocal. And then again, add the notes however we want. The author is myself, and we just go ahead and click OK. Let's go ahead and, you know, copy this compressor setting, all right, and make a preset for that. And we'll go ahead and just call this vocal center. All right, we can put a note in there that it's the adaptive compressor. And what are we doing here on the ratio? It's a 2.4 to 1. And there we go. There already is an existing preset. And see, there you go. So we already have a name. So I'm going to hit cancel and go ahead and rename it. And just to show you, it was a test. I did that on purpose to show you that if you did do that, it's going to give you the alert. So we're just going to go ahead and call this vocal center. And now we're going to click OK. So now, if we go over here, back to the preset manager, we'll take a look. And if I can find it, there we go. And now you see we have these files that are in here. So we'll go across. This is the types. This is a whole channel. There's our input EQs, here's our input compressors, and the names of those. It shows our notes, who the author was, and the date and time that they were created. Very, very important. Make sure your date and time is set correctly on the console, so that way the date and time on all of your files, not just with the preset files, are all going to be showing the correct information. Okay, because if you may, you know, you may not remember the name of a preset, and, you know, the following week you're going to be like, oh, what was that preset that I used for this? I know I did this show on such and such date, so now I can go back to say, oh, okay, I'm looking for this, you know, preset. I made it on that date, and you can easily find it. So just another little tip and trick to help you make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so again, like with the console files, the console is going to tell us if the files are not saved. As you see here on the top, it's going to say, hey, something needs to be saved. So we can go ahead, save it. Again, it's saved directly onto the computer, you know, into the memory on the computer for the console. All right, so now let's go ahead and go over to the automation screen and press it again to get into the filing screen. So you will see that we have our preset folder is here. It shows LA presets, at the size of the file, the date that it was created, and that it is a preset folder. This is one that I have already here on the console. All right, so that's loaded here. You can see that that file is available. So let's go ahead and close all the files. All right, it's going to ask me if I want to do that, and I want to say yes. Again, the console is going to remain in the last state that it was left in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load my show file back up. Do I want to load this show? Yes. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll through this really quick to kind of get it back to where we were a second ago. And now we're good. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and load a preset file. All right, so instead of the LA presets, let's load up and see what I got in here. All right, I've only made a few. It's not that huge and, you know, fancy, so it's not overwhelming. So we're gonna go ahead and select the ProX new. We're gonna hit load. We're gonna get the pop-up. Do you wanna load this? Absolutely. So we're gonna hit OK. We see up here in the top right that preset file is loaded. All right, let's go back to the default view of the desk, and we'll scroll over here and hit load preset and see what we got. So right now, we do not have any preset files for compressors. Okay, so we can close out. Now, if we want to see what's actually in that preset file, we can go back to the preset manager, and we see here that I have 2 effect unit presets. All right, this is for my de-esser, where I have all my settings, so I'm able to load that directly in. And then I also have the M350 reverb unit for one of my settings for a specific song. Okay, so let's show you how to load that. So let's head over to my effects rack. Got a lot going on in here, and let's go to the de-esser. Again, these effects we're going to be going into in detail in other videos. All right, so as you see here, we got the store and the load preset on the effects. So I'm going to go ahead and hit load preset. As you see now, it's showing all the effects that are available for the presets. All right, if I want, I can select current type only. So if there's a ton of files in here, that are effects types, and I want to just see all my presets for this specific device, I can filter those out by clicking current type only. And now in this case, we're only left with the 1. So let's go ahead and select that. And now it's loaded. Of course, we didn't really see anything change because the settings were already there. All right. So that's how we do that. We can go over to that reverb. I believe it was guitar 1, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was guitar 2. So let me just scroll down to guitar 2. So I can just simply hit load preset. There it is. It's filtered out. There's that 1 effect. So if I just select this, and you see there were some changes because I'm in a different snapshot. So that's it for presets. Okay. If we had a USB key inserted in on the console, I'm going to go in and explain how to transfer and save your filing in a separate window. But it's going to be the exact same, so I will go over doing that on how to actually export the file for future use. So that's it for presets. Hope you found it informative, and we'll see you on the next video.